But I've been to Jamaica several times. Obviously, it's my #1 support island in the Caribbean. It's like a second home to me. I don't like the way in which the Jamaican government has allowed the Chinese to come in and take over. I believe they own the major port there. I believe that the Jamaican government has given them lands in exchange for services. I believe they built at least one hospital there, a couple of schools. They had constructed a north-south highway or northwest highway that connects one part of the island to the other, so you don't have to drive all the way around to get there, which was necessary. But from what I read, in exchange for them building the highway, the Jamaican government has allowed them to keep, I believe, nearly all of the toll fees on that highway for a certain amount of years. We're giving up too much to get too little. And what bothers me the most about Jamaica, they are the most Pan-Africanist and the most unapologetic of the Caribbean islands. And so if China can take Jamaica, taking the rest of the Caribbean won't be that difficult.
Breeze.
It's almost like with the migrant crisis in America. Once they take Chicago and New York, the rest of Black America doesn't stand a chance. So I'm hoping that, the Jamaican government begins to look in another direction, because this dependency on China is going to turn China into the global empire. To be honest, they pretty much are. When you look at the incursions in Africa, you look at the incursions in the Caribbean, you look at the incursions in Central and South America, for the most part, China is the superpower of the world.
Yeah.
The Europeans are hanging on by a strand. And with China's relationship with Russia, I doubt very much that the United States wants to go to war with them. With that being said, though, I think, speaking of elections, because America's is coming up soon, I think one of the things that the global white power structure has done to African people, it has brainwashed us into thinking we can get with a vote that you can only get with a gun. Black people have been brainwashed into thinking that democracy can replace war, and it can't. Nothing that you need for liberation you will ever get through a vote. I don't care if you live in Toronto, Montreal. I don't care if you live in Jamaica, Nigeria. I don't care if you live in Jersey, New York, Brazil, Barbados. What we need to do to get free will require bloodshed. We're not ready for it yet, but we're not even trying to prepare ourselves for it. If you think you're going to take back in peace what the white man spent 500 years taking in blood, you're living in a fairy tale. And one of the reasons that democracy is so effective of keeping Black people in their place is they have manipulated us into thinking that you can literally vote your way out of oppression. You can't. There's going to have to be 2 revolutions. There's going to have to be a revolution to overthrow the Black bourgeoisie, the Kun Illuminati. That's #1. If we don't fight the fight with our own gatekeepers, ain't no need to fight the fight with the white man.
Yeah.
That's #1. You got to get rid of the gatekeepers. Globally, you got to get rid of them in Canada, you got to get rid of them in Africa, you got to get rid of them in the States, you got to get rid of them everywhere. Once you overthrow the global Black bourgeoisie, then you go to war with the white power structure. Now, don't get me wrong, we ain't there yet. We got a lot of organizing to do. We got a lot of psychological reconstruction we got to do. We got a lot of institution building we got to do. We're not there yet. Military conflict is the final stage of revolution, never the first. Never the first. So we got other steps we need to take, but we still need to be conscious of the fact, whether it be us or our great grandkids, blood will have to be shed, not only for the redemption of Africa, but for the redemption of African people.